They say that beauty is a gift from the gods, but in Umu-Eze, beauty was a death sentence. In the village of Umu-Eze, there lived a girl named Adaugo. Her name meant the daughter of the eagle, and she lived up to it. She was so beautiful that when she walked, the birds stopped chirping to watch her. But Adaugo had a heart made of rock. Her father was a wealthy man with many barns of yam, and every eligible bachelor from the surrounding 7 villages had come to ask for her hand. One was a great wrestler, another a wealthy palm wine tapper, and another a soft-spoken teacher. Adaugo rejected them all. She mocked the wrestler's scars. She laughed at the tapper's calloused hand. "I will only marry a man who is perfect," she told her mother. "A man whose skin is like polished mahogany, whose teeth are as white as the morning milk, and who carries the scent of heaven upon him." Her mother warned her, "Adaugo, beauty is a thin skin. Do not look for a man who is too perfect, for the spirits often hide perfection to hide the rot." But Adaugo only tossed her head and waited. Adaugo was waiting for a god, standing in her father's compound, looking down at the world as if the dust of Umu-Eze was not good enough to touch her feet. One morning, a man arrived at Masiokeke's gate. His name was Obiakor. He was a farmer, but not the kind who struggles with the soil. Obiakor walked with the grace of a man who owned the earth. He came with gifts that turned the heads of every woman in the village. Beads of real coral, fabrics that felt like a breeze against the skin, and yams so large that they looked like they had been grown in the gardens of the spirits. Adaugo, the girl with the heart of rock, began to smell. But her smile was not for Obiakor. It was for the gold. In her mind, she was drinking his wealth like a thirsty traveler. She pretended to fall in love. She leaned her head on his shoulder by the stream. She walked hand in hand with him through the market, and she let the village conclude that the eagle's daughter had finally found her nest. The marriage was set. The palm wine was tapped. The village was ready for the feast of the century. But on the morning of the wine carrying, when Obiakor stood before her with his heart open, Adaugo delivered a blow colder than a harmattan wind. "I am not marrying you," she said, her voice steady and sharp. The crowd gasped. Obiakor's hand trembled. "But Adaugo, the songs, the gifts, the time we spent." And she laughed. "I stayed for the gifts, Obiakor. I stayed because you treated me like the queen I am. But look at your hands. They are stained with soil. You are a farmer. I am Adaugo. You are never more than a bridge for me to cross." The next morning, Obiakor was gone. His hut was found wide open, the embers in his hearth cold. Not a footprint was left in the dust. He had vanished as if he had been exhaled by the forest.
Hi. The story is shifting like the sands of the river Niger. Adaugo has played a dangerous game with a man's heart, but the spirits are watching from the shadows of the Iroko trees. If you want to see what happens when the perfect man finally arrives, do not leave this circle. Subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell and join our family, for the Eke Market Day is about to begin. Days turned into weeks. Adaugo returned to her old ways. She goes to the Eke market with nothing to sell, dressed in her finest wrappers, her skin rubbed with the most expensive camwood, and simply walk through the crowd. She wanted the worship of the crowds. She wanted to be seen. Then he appeared. He stepped into the market, and it was as if the sun had moved from the sky to stand among men. He was taller than the tallest warrior. His skin was the color of a polished mahogany, and when he smiled, his teeth were as white as the morning milk. He carried the scent of heaven, a mix of rain, lilies, and ancient spices. Adaugo's heart of rock finally cracked. For the first time, she felt a hunger that gold could not satisfy. She did not wait to be approached. She ran to him, grabbing his hand as if they had been lovers in a previous life. "Where have you been?" she cried, her pride forgotten. "You are the one. You are the perfect man I have waited for. Come, see my father now." The man did not speak much. He only smiled, that perfect, blinding smile. The wedding was the grandest Umu-Eze had ever seen. People traveled from 7 villages away just to catch a glimpse of the man who had finally captured the eagle's daughter. The drums beat, the dancing lasted until the moon grew tired. The next morning, it was time for Adaugo to follow her husband to his village. Her mother wept, her father gave them his blessings, and the couple set off on the long forest path. They reached the first river, and as they stepped onto the bank, the man stopped. He reached up and pulled off his beautiful hair. Underneath, his head was bald. Adaugo gasped, "What are you doing?" He said, "I am returning what was borrowed." His voice had changed. It was deeper, more familiar. They reached the second river, and the man stopped and peeled off the mahogany skin of his arms and chest. Underneath, the skin was rough, calloused, and stained with the dark earth of 1,000 farms. Adaugo stopped, her breath hitching in her throat. "Stop! Who are you?" The man turned around. The perfect stranger was gone. Standing before her was Obiakor, the farmer she had mocked and rejected. "I went to the water spirits, Adaugo. I told them I wanted to be the man of your dreams. I borrowed this beauty from the queen of the deep just to show you that your eyes are your greatest enemy. I am the farmer you said was only a bridge." Adaugo looked back toward the path to Umu-Eze. She thought of the market. She thought of the women who would whisper behind. She thought of the mockery. The girl who wanted a god married the man she threw away. The shame felt heavier than any spirit's curse. "I cannot go back," she whispered, her head bowing. "The laughter of the village would kill me before the spirits could." Obiakor smiled, but it was no longer a smile of love. It was a smile of possession. "Then let us go, my wife. My village is not far. But remember, the beauty is gone. Only the soil remains." Hear the wisdom of the elders. Pride is a garment that fits well in the morning, but becomes a chain by the evening. Adaugo looked for perfection and found a mirror of her own greed. And that brings us to the end of our journey today. I want to say a huge thank you for watching and supporting the channel. If you found this story interesting, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell and join our family. For the Eke Market Day is about to begin.